Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Chivera here as always and as usual. Guys, on today's episode, guess where I am? Drum roll. I don't know if you can guess, but I'm at the Old Eastern Region Premier's Lodge. This is the lodge where the late Professor Eyo Ita, who was the first Premier of the Old Eastern Region, stayed. After him was the great Nnamdi Azikiwe, OLA of Onitsha, who was succeeded by the great, even the greater Michael Okpara. Anyway, this is the house these great men stayed, where they were heads of Eastern Region and did the whole good things they did. However, they've all passed now, and this place has been converted to ZIK Center, meaning that it holds precious relics of the late Nnamdi Azikiwe. And I'm here to give you a tour of this place, so that if you're ever in Enugu and you're looking for places to be, to see things from the past to help you determine your future, this is a place to be. Anyways, without further ado, guys, let's step into the building and see what it looks like in the year 2024. Come on. This building is a one-story building that was built in the 1950s for the premiers of the Old Eastern Region. Like I mentioned earlier, Professor Eyo Ita was the pioneer premier of the region, followed by Nnamdi Azikiwe, who was succeeded by Michael Okpara. So now, last year, the governor of Enugu State, the past governor of Enugu State, Honorable Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, felt it wise to respect and to honor the works of Nnamdi Azikiwe as a nationalist and someone who did a lot of things for the independence of Nigeria, founding of University of Nigeria and Soka, and a whole lot of other things he did, both as a politician, as a journalist, as a sportsman, and as a father. This center was built or renovated in honor of him. So this used to be a very old house. Nobody paid attention to it until Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi renovated it and converted it to ZIK Center. So moving into this place, we're going to see a lot of personal effects of the late Owele of Onitsha, Nnamdi Azikiwe. So you're going to see letters, books, his clothes, his shoes, some of the things he used while he was alive, and it's divided into several sections that appeal to different aspects of his life. For instance, over here you would see his relationship with the late Michael Okpara. Both men are late and they did really good things for the Eastern region. So Michael Okpara, like I said, succeeded Nnamdi Azikiwe, and this is a picture that showed M.I. Okpara with his wife. That is in 1966. That was when they took this picture. Then over here is Nnamdi Azikiwe and Michael Okpara, and then so this is showing his relationship with Michael Okpara. And then Michael Okpara died before Nnamdi Azikiwe. So this is a newspaper publication that shows ZIK mourning. That is probably his tribute for Michael Okpara after his passing. Now, moving away from this place, you're also going to look at some of his articles. Like I said, Nnamdi Azikiwe was a journalist. He was a fine writer, and he expressed a lot of his thoughts, a lot of his activism, a lot of things he did that through writing. So he did all of those things through writing. So these are some of his letters. So this is a letter addressing the National Association of Advancement of Colored People at its 50th anniversary celebration of the Polo Grounds, New York City. Now, speech by Nnamdi Azikiwe on the threat by the North to secede from Nigeria. So everything he did most of them in writing. So these are some of his works he wrote. So if you're a researcher, I think this center is somewhere you should be at, because it gives like a close-up to what things used to look like. So this was also a copy of his newspaper back in the day, because as a journalist he also founded this newspaper, which he used to air his opinions and to fight for liberation from the colonizers. And he was a pioneer of self-leadership. He wanted Africans, Nigerians, to rule themselves by themselves, so he fought for democracy at the time, and he did a lot of that through writing. Now, over here is the picture of the Old Eastern Region House of Assembly. This building is still standing. A little bit renovated, but not fully renovated, but it's still standing right here in Enugu. I think I've made a video of this building. You should check that out in my channel. and perhaps one of these days I have to get into the building to see if there are still relics from the times before people like myself were born. All right, now moving over here, this shows you most of his activities as the premier of the Eastern region in 1959. So these are pictures with people from, that is his picture from Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip when they visited Nigeria in 1959. This is ZIK with Kwame Nkrumah, and a whole lot of his activities over here as the Eastern Nigeria premier at the time. So now let's move down to this place. Over here, you're going to see some of his personal effects. I could say that he was a fashionista. I mean, he was very stylish. So you can take a look at this. This is a lace material, and from this you could also tell that he was a tall man. And over there is a red cap that signifies chieftaincy in Igbo land. So he was a chief while he lived, and this lace material is something common to us Nigerians and some part of Africa. And moving over here, he also had some English words because he did a lot of foreign or abroad training. He studied abroad in the States and all that. But this is his outfit that he wore. So probably, I don't know how long ago this outfit has been here, but this belonged to ZIK and it's been preserved here. When I say stylish, I mean, how would you, this tease is real, right? So this is another outfit of him. So I'm just trying to imagine what he had in mind, styling himself this way. I can't tell. I don't know what the fashion was like back in the day, but this really looks well put together. I like the color and all that. But so yeah, these are some of the things you see in this center. So moving over here, you'll see some of his personal life stories towards the end of his life, because Nnamdi Azikiwe died in the year 1996 at University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital right here in Enugu. Here it was 1994 with his personal physician. From here you could tell that he has already aged. He died aged 91, so I think he led a very good life, and he lived up to 90s, which is like a dream for a lot of people. Over here, he was with the wife of Malcolm X, Betty Shabazz. So you could tell that he wasn't just well-traveled, but he associated with a lot of people who fought for something they believed in at the time. So that's all you'd see upstairs. Right now, let's go downstairs and see what is down there, okay? Coming from the upstairs, this is actually the first room that you would get into once you enter the ZIK Center. But like I told you, I wanted to start from up to down and then we'll take it outside. So over here, you're going to see a lot of personal materials about Nnamdi Azikiwe. Before we get to this part, behind me or in front of me here are his life, his nativity, genealogy. So you see people like his mother, his grandmother, his sister, his mother's burial obituary. Then you see young ZIK back in the day. So this is all about ZIK. This is also his father, and that is his grandfather. So like I told you earlier, in case you don't know, ZIK, Nnamdi Azikiwe, is from Onitsha, Anambra State. And going through this, you see that he was a proper traditional Onitsha man. And that is something I'll talk about in another subsequent video about Igbo men and their duality, why you try to be someone whom you are and you also pay very much respect to where you are coming from, especially in Onitsha, Anambra State. So this is his family, his kids, his wife, his sister, these are like personal effects. So moving over from here, I would like you to pay good attention to his clothing. So here are some of his personal wears, and you will notice that a lot of them here were white. If you know in Onitsha, aquawater or white cloth is something Onitsha people are known for. And ZIK, if you know him, I didn't know him, I wasn't born when he existed, but from his pictures and places like this, you see that he wore a lot of white outfits, and I'm rooting that to be because he's an Onitsha man, because Onitsha people are known for this. So these are some of his clothes, which are white clothes. That is a pair of shoes there, and over here is still his clothes. And so this place had all of his clothes. If they held any significance in his life, I do not know, and that is because at the time of recording this video, there is no tour guide here. There is no tour guide, rather, so there is nobody to give inner interpretations to things. I can only say things based on my knowledge, what I've read about him, what I've studied about him, and what I'm currently seeing. So these are some of his clothes, and so these are still his life, his everything. So over here you see some equipment, and I'm thinking that this is a telephone, or yeah, it should be a telephone back in the day, because I'm seeing a stop clear recordable, and then there's a telephone there, so it's probably his property. And over here is an invitation from him to attend Otuodo, which is a prestigious group for women in Onitsha. And back here, I don't know if I can open this. Okay, it's openable. So I hope I'm allowed to touch. I'll place it back, but you can see this is his personal writing. This is Nnamdi Azikiwe's writing. So this is while he was applying for license to drive. So that is that. And the address he used here was in Nsukka. So he probably lived in Nsukka after setting up the university. Talking about someone who is a patriot, he was that person. So yeah, this is him applying for his license. So I'm going to drop this back for others to see. And you'd also see a pant here, a pair of trousers here, and other things. Now, something of insignificance I want to show you is this ZIK, the athlete in America, 1920s, because when ZIK came back to Nigeria, he set up a sports club, like a football club, because according to articles, he was not given a lot of opportunity over there to participate as an athlete. So he came back. What he wasn't able to do, he was able to give other people the chance or the opportunity to express themselves. So this is him, and every other thing he did in Lincoln University, he did in America as a student. Okay, over here, I'll tell that here he's giving you a picture of things that were done in his honor, because you see the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja, you see the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium right here in Enugu, you would also see the Nnamdi Azikiwe Library in University of Nigeria and Nsukka, you see the roundabout named after him in Onitsha, his statue right here in the Eastern Region Parliament building right here, his statue at the Freedom Park, Lagos, his statue at roundabout. And now, interestingly, this is something from his club, ZIK's Athletic Club. So it was founded in April 1938 by Mr. ZIK and MRB Autumn. I don't know if this is an English name or Yoruba name, but he had the idea after he was denied the right to compete in the British Empire Games in 1934, and his application to join tennis club in Lagos was rejected because he was Igbo. Interesting. So ZIK's Athletic Club became the only African-controlled sports club that promoted football, boxing, athletics, swimming, cricket, tennis, and was open to people of all races, nationalities, tribes, classes. He used the club to speak against injustice of the colonialists and publicly challenge the British regime and foster national unity. Interesting. Talk about the man ZIK. So he was rejected at the British Empire Games, probably because he was black. When he went to Lagos to join the tennis club, he was rejected because he was Igbo. And finally, he had to set up his own club that was not segregating anybody, regardless of your tribe, your race, your status, come as you are. So this goes to tell you more about the man ZIK. His pan ideas for everybody to be themselves, to rule themselves, and to embrace everybody, regardless of your color, your religion, or your tribe. Okay, so yeah, like I said, this place is one place you should be if you are looking to learn more about ZIK and his works. So on this wall are his poems. He was also a poet, right? Maybe not, but he wrote things. They are displayed here. And here, that looks like a living area, serves to give us history, a little history about him. So here is what this center looked like before. And this was the past governor, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, while they were planning the renovation. And this is the current outlook. So this is where I am now. This is what it looks like in the olden days. This is the second room, or yeah, this is the third room actually, the third bigger room here. And this room houses something like this. I think this is a radio transmitter, because at some point ZIK was using all forms of mass media for his campaign, for his activism and his call for liberation and all. And as usual, on the walls are littered with pictures of him at various occasions, doing various things, receiving people and meetings. Now over here, this is also an article written by him. It's titled "Assassination Story, True or False." So I think back in the day there was an assassination attempt on his life, so he addressed all of that here. This is a box that contains something. I don't know what's inside. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I don't know. So that is that. So basically here is still all of his works, things he has done, places he's been to, the first parliament after Nigeria, after the Great Britain gave us Nigerians independence as a country. Guys, so that is all about this place. What do you think about this place? Let me know in the comment section. However, personally, I like the idea behind the whole renovation and, you know, immortalizing the memory and the achievements and accomplishments of late Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, OLA of Onitsha. So I like this place. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot of things that ordinarily I didn't even know. And if you're a history student or just a Nigerian looking to learn more about your country, the activities of your leaders in the past, here is actually a nice place for you to come spend an hour or two. 2 hours won't even do it, because there are a lot of things to be unpacked from this place. So will you tell me, will you be at this place if you visit Enugu anytime soon? Or if you're in Enugu, would you want to pay attention and come over to this place? Let me know about that in the comment section. What are your thoughts? What are your comments? Let me know. However, I must have to appeal to the government at this time. I think this place, a place like this, needs someone who will be here to attend to people. Except for the security officer here, there was no other person like a staff or a tour guide to put us through, because there are things I did not know what they were, simply because they were not in my time. I didn't meet such things. I didn't understand that. So I think a tour guide who would be taught, or yeah, taking on a training to understand everything and also help the public understand everything going on here would be an amazing idea. And I'm also encouraging that this place should be maintained, because maintenance culture is something we lack as Nigerians. I think this place should be maintained. More people should be made aware of this place, and you know, it should be put to good use. But regardless, I like the place and I enjoyed it. If you liked it, let me know in the comment section. And if there are other places you want me to show you around Enugu, still let me know what you think about this video, and I'll see you in my next episode. Bye bye.